What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. That is right, it is Victory Monday, and we're here talking about our 5-0 birds, baby. Starting the week off right. Hope you're all enjoying your day here a little bit in the afternoon here, a little after 12, and I'm going to record this, then try to post this as quickly as I possibly can this afternoon. But we've got the snap count for the offense, defense, and special teams. Like to try to go over this anytime I can on Mondays. So let's jump right into this bad boy. Hope you're all having a great day. This is not live. We will be talking live later for Victory Monday. Hope to see you then. Let's jump right into this. Love to hear your thoughts on this. Appreciate you hitting that like button, subscribing. Hope you're enjoying that out there. I'm cold as hell today. Hoodie weather, baby. Let's go 5-0. And you can see the Cowboys getting their ass handed to them last night at 3-2. Then, of course, Commanders at 2-3, and the Giants at 1-4. And as we keep talking about each week, the Eagles focus on what they've got to do, and we don't have to worry about a damn thing. I'm not afraid of any of those teams, and I think people are starting to realize what I meant by we are the best in the NFL. And don't worry, man, they'll find their negative things to harp on here this week, but we'll continue laughing in their faces. This team continues to build and show why they are going to win the Super Bowl and build a dynasty. And I'm sticking to it. So let's jump right into this bad boy and take a gander at the offense here. And we'll go through each position and look at, and analyze what's going on at each position. Now, at quarterback, no brainer there. All 79 of the offensive snaps went to Jalen Hurts there. Tanner McKee inactive, but, he's dresses because he is that third quarterback. But he is the only person on the Eagles that has not played a game yet. So, look, no surprise there. Don't need Mariota as the backup. That's great. Fantastic. Jalen Hurts out here kicking ass and taking names. Another 300-yard game, 25 for 38, a touchdown. Did have that pick, whatever. But ran for 72 yards, had a rushing touchdown there too. Continues to show why his game is only going to improve, and he be definite business. Let's go. Now, on to the running back here. I'm liking this. DeAndre Swift seeing more snaps than Kenny Gainwell, getting into the 60% range. That's what I'm talking about. That keeps going up. He had 17 carries for 70 yards, Swift that is, then 6 catches for 38 yards. So over 100 yards altogether there. And, I want to see more of him than Gainwell. Gainwell had some nice work in the pass game, I thought, a couple good blocks, but I've seen enough in the run game. This needs to be, DeAndre Swift's show, and the rest of the guys, spelling him. Clearly, Penny is going to continue to be inactive. They just don't like his game over the other three. Boston Scott didn't play any offensive snaps, but he was dressed, did play some special teams. So if you see 0, that just means they played special teams, which you will see at the end here. But keep Swift going here, baby. You're not only always going to have those 100-yard games, but thought he did pretty well. Then at wide receiver, got A.J. Brown leading the way with 78 snaps. Only missed 1. And then Devontae Smith was 74 there. And A.J. was 6 catches, 127 yards. That's 21.2 yards per catch. And we talked about how crazy it is that Hurts threw for over 300. And, that's with Devontae Smith having 1 catch for 6 yards. So pretty wild there. Quez, yeah, he had 2 catches for 4 yards. Had that one where he could have just cut it right up and driving me insane. He was wide open at one point. That would have helped this case, but Hurts missed him there. But, hey, is what it is. We've talked about it. I think Alameda should be playing more than Quez, but it is what it is. He only had 9 snaps there, 11%. So maybe this is the game they realized, okay, maybe a little more Alameda. You can use them both, but a little less Quez, a little more OZ. That's just my opinion. But another one of those 100-yard receivers, not Devontae Smith, Dallas effing Goedert. And if you were listening all week or watched the pregame show yesterday, you heard me say put your money on Dallas Goedert having a big day. I did. So I was pumped up in the first drive. He had 8 catches, 117 yards, and a touchdown there. That's 14.6 yards per reception. So, hell yeah, getting him going there. And you can see Jack Stoll play a little bit more with 22 snaps there. And then you've got Grant Calcaterra, who only had 6. Now, I wonder, if at one point Albert O takes that job from him because you just haven't seen anything. He hasn't made any catches this year, anything like that. So maybe he gets pushed out. But, only 8% of offensive snaps for Calcaterra there. Now, on the offensive side, of the line here, you've got Suba Opeta, filling in for Cam Jurgens there. All of the 5 starting guys started and they played the whole damn thing. So, yeah, I love to hear that. But Driscoll, Fred Johnson, and then, of course, Tyler Steen getting to dress for his first game. But those 3, they were on special teams duty. But love to see your whole line playing the whole game and your quarterback. That's, clearly something you want to see. Now, the other positions you're not going to see probably 100% most of the time. But, yes, let's effing go. This offense only going to continue to get better. Brian and everybody on the same page. Let's go, baby. So great game yesterday, showing you they can kill you in a plethora of ways. It made my heart sing. Now let's take a look at this defense. We talk about all these injuries, all these things going on. And the Eagles threw us a curveball with some of the things they were doing in the secondary. So we're going to take a look at this bad boy. We had a couple of injuries. Let's break this down. And we talked about with Fletcher Cox and Marlon Tuapolo, 2 out. Carter, Williams, Davis, all going to see a little uptick, but they play a lot anyway. Street was going to be the guy that saw the biggest, and then Jomo probably dressed. Well, he sure did, but he only played 4 snaps. You saw 16 for Street there, but leading the way, Jalen Carter. Let's go, 70%. Most he ever played is like 50%. So loved that. We talked about, he's going to continuously see more reps here, and the more he does, the more he will dominate, and that is exactly what we are seeing on display here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's effing go. And my man Milton, I know I see a lot of the media confused about this, saying he's going to finally play. He's been playing all year, and he actually has had more reps than Jordan Davis every week here. So nothing surprising there. And, this is a rotation that is going to eat souls, and that's without Fletcher Cox, who was leading the way before this game. So, yeah, can't wait for him to get healthy and this rotation just to get better and better. And it makes things easier on these guys. And obviously getting a cast off will help too. So you've got 40 snaps for Sweat, 38 for Reddick, 18 for BG, 13 for DB, Nolan Smith with 8. And, Nolan Smith keeps sitting around that under 15%, around that range. And look, we've talked about it. He is not quite ready yet. And in due time, when he is, he will be able to feast. Now, he's not Jalen Carter. He's not Brown, who are going to be used a lot. He is, clearly like the 5th guy in a rotation here. So very deep at edge rusher. And I'm all about how, just nasty this team is going to be in the future. So let's stay patient here. Then at linebacker, and dude, let's be real here. That line was kicking people's asses yesterday. So just want to give a big shout out. Jalen Carter, you are the effing man. You can see why I was so adamant with those 2 sacks yesterday that we get him over someone like Bijan Robinson. He is the future. He is a generational talent. And I said the same thing about Jordan Davis as a nose tackle the year before. There's a reason I was desperate to get both of these guys, and I think it's being put on display, and you can see why I have Milton Williams as my breakout candidate this year. These guys are future, and I can't wait for it. Now, at linebacker, this week, Nakobe Dean will be eligible to return. So going to be intriguing to see what we do here. Morrow had 5 tackles yesterday. Cunningham only had 4. Now, those are total tackles. Cunningham only had a few assists, 1 solo tackle himself. So they were passing the ball a lot to the receivers. You're going to see that kind of stuff. That's fine. But, if you're a stat watcher, you might be freaking out. But these guys have been doing pretty well. Morrow had a couple takeaways that he let go yesterday. That broke my heart. But when Nakobe Dean comes back, we are going to have an intriguing little problem here, and it's a good problem to have. So we'll see who Nakobe Dean replaces here, if he kind of just gets, eased back into it. But before, he got hurt, clearly it was Dean and Cunningham there. So we'll see how the Eagles work things out. But you see Morrow leading the way. And Christian Ellis, another week without defensive snaps there. So goes to show you how well those other 2 linebackers are doing. Now the cornerback position. This is one where they threw the biggest curveball. So Mario Goodrich played last week, but not defense. He played special teams. And the week before that, he was inactive. You had Josh Jobe starting outside. You had Bradbury starting at nickel. Well, yesterday we start off, and it's Bradbury who's starting outside, and you got Mario Goodrich starting inside. I instantly was like, oh, Jesus. So we talked about this last night. I saw ups and downs from all of these guys, and clearly I did not change Bradley Roby's face in there. That is Josh Jobe twice, okay? But the the snaps are right. Sorry about that. But Roby definitely looks a little bit different there. But Roby came in and he didn't get to start, but we talked about this. Throw his ass into the fire and let's see what happens. And I thought out of all of them, he did the best. And that's not to take away from Goodrich and Ricks. I mean, these guys are going against, Cooper Kupp. And I thought Puka Nacua was, doing really well his rookie season here. Tutu Atwell looking good. So they had a tough challenge on their hands. And we talked about what better way to find out what the hell you're going to do here than to throw them into the fire against some corners like this. And we did just that. So you can see Roby, out of those guys trying to figure it out, he led the way with 25 snaps, 18 for Goodrich, and then 13 for Ricks. All these guys dabbling in that nickel slot cornerback spot. And then you have Josh Jobe, who didn't play a single defensive snap. So he went from starting to a special teamer. And Ringo, he has stayed playing special teams, so no surprise there. But we have to figure out, who are we cutting and chancing putting on the practice squad? Because if you want to elevate Bradley Roby, you're going to have to do something. You got Nakobe Dean coming back. Roby can be elevated 2 more times, but after that, he has to be on the active roster. So you got to figure out, how many are we keeping here? What are we doing? So the best thing to do is throw them all out there, find out what you can. And look, man, again, I thought Roby showed me that if he can learn the system that quick in a few days, yeah, he had a couple of mistakes, but man, throw his ass in there and let him be the starter. I don't give a damn. And we talked about that. I really didn't think he would start, but let's get him out there and steal the show. And that is exactly what he did, as you can see by the snap count here. He took over. Let's effing go. Excitement in the air, baby. Let's hope he stays healthy and can stay up to form and only get better as he learns more about this defense. Now, Sidney Brown inactive. I've talked about this extensively since before the draft, what this kid means to this defense, and he's going to add such a beautiful wrinkle to this defense for offenses trying to take it on. You move him all over the place, and we've talked about it lining up in certain matchups, whether it's a safety, a nickel corner, a dime backer, all those things that he can do. Love his versatility. So be patient here. But yesterday we got it done. Thank God Justin Evans was back. Both he and Blankenship played 100% of the snaps, while Edmonds was at 0. Thank you, Lord. So I like Edmonds' depth, but I don't want him starting. We've talked about that. So was very excited to see that. And Blankenship, Evans, having a good game. And again, once Sidney Brown gets added back into that mix as the third safety that will be used, I will be a very, very happy young man. Now, let's get into this special teams, because we don't leave anyone out in these parts. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on how you felt about the offense, defense, and now the special teams. But you can see 10 snaps for Elliott, 6 for Lovato, 6 for Braden Mann there. And then I will give you all of the guys that aren't our 3 specialists. So you can see all of those guys that had 0 snaps on offense or defense, where they got their time in the most. So Josh Jobe, Christian Ellis, Patrick Johnson, they did not play any defense, but they led the way in special teams reps with 15. Kaylee Ringo with 14 there. Not sure why he missed the 1, but all right. 13 for Terrell Edmonds there. 12 for Eli Ricks. So he was doing special teams and getting out there on defense. 11 for Boston Scott there. Stoll and Grant, I guess, didn't want to put his last name, Calcaterra, 9 snaps. You got 7 for Evans and Davis. Sorry, guys, I put this together really quickly. If you couldn't tell, forgetting pictures. I just want to get this in today so you have something to look at. And I actually had this made at like 8 o'clock. Just had to finish some damn things, so I'm pissed. But it is what it is. 6 snaps you can see for Barnett and Morrow. 5 you can see for Opeta, Dickerson, Mailata, Goodrich, Steen, Driscoll, and Fred Johnson. So a lot of guys not playing, in the game. Actually, he played special teams, whether, they didn't play offense or defense. But Sua Opeta not only starting with Dickerson and Mailata, but these guys holding it down in special teams as well. Covey with 4 snaps, made him count, had a great game. Good job, young man. Continues to be one of the best punt returners in the game. 3 snaps for Reed Blankenship on special teams, 2 for Milton Williams and Brandon Graham, and then 1 snap apiece for Ajomo, Street, and Alameda Zacchaeus. So that was it, ladies and gentlemen. Your snap count for the Philadelphia Eagles in Week 5 versus the Rams. Would love to hear your thoughts on this one. Who you think should get more reps? Who you think should get less? This, that, the other thing. You want to trade for somebody? You still think Jonathan Taylor, Patrick Queen, Buda Baker, whatever people are still going with. Let me know down below. Would love to hear your thoughts. But I still feel this team is winning the Super Bowl, building a dynasty, and I promise you the media will be repeating me sooner rather than later. let's effing go. But I hope to see you later tonight live for Victory Monday. We're 5-0, baby. So just keep getting more and more excited for these shows. But I hope you're all having a great day, a great start to your week. But until next time, I'm Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. If you got anything from this, do me a favor, hit that like button. You can always subscribe down below. But have yourselves a great rest of your day. Stay safe out there. See your asses live later. And as always, say it with me now. Go Birds!